Hi, and welcome again to another Cigar Advisors Cigar Review panel, Cigar Review. I'm Gary Korb, and if I keep on talking, I'll eventually say something intelligent. Today, we are going to be reviewing the new Gloria Cubana Estelí. This is going to be the Robusto, and without further ado, let's meet our delightful panelists. He thinks Chuck Berry is an ice cream flavor. Wow. Please give a warm welcome to Fred Lunt.
It's Ben and Jerry's, right?
If you see him wearing a windbreaker, take that as a warning. It's Tommy Z-Man, everybody.
The human windbreaker.
That's my wife.
He's so cheap he went on his honeymoon by himself. This is Jean Poulo.
But it was quiet.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
quiet and relaxing.
Alrighty, so we are smoking the new La Gloria Cubana Estelí Robusto. Again, the dimensions are more like a Rothschild. It's 4.5 by 52. But it's made by General Cigar, and the reason they called it the Estelí is because it's made in their Esteli factory, and they wanted to give their people something, you know, they're really proud of the people who work in their Esteli factory, so this is sort of an homage to them.
Very Frenchy.
Yes, and I have the official press release from General Cigar, and Steve Abbott, Senior Brand Manager for La Gloria Cubana, said, "We named this collection in honor of the artisans of our factory in Esteli who did a fantastic job creating the blend and bringing a deeper taste profile to the La Gloria portfolio." And we're going to find out if that is correct in a few minutes. The wrapper is a jalapa, which is from Nicaragua.
Now say that in
Not
Yiddish,
Esteli.
Gary. Say that in Yiddish.
Jalapa.
Jalapa.
There you go, jalapa.
As soon as he said that, I had to wipe my face.
Anyway, it's a jalapa wrapper from Nicaragua, and it's a high priming, I believe. So it's a little, it's a little
But it's a jalapa
stronger.
Ligero wrapper, right?
I don't know if it's a Ligero.
Yeah, no, it's a Ligero.
You looked it up?
What
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
He looked up. I did my homework,
Well,
buddy.
I was going to look it up, but
This guy Googles.
I went by the press release. They said it's very bold, so I figured it's got to be high priming. All right, anyway, but the rest of the cigar is actually Honduran. So you have a Jamastran binder from Honduras and Jamastran and La Entrada Honduran
Very nice.
fillers, which, thank you. Anyway, it's rolled in 3 sizes. We're smoking the Robusto. It also comes in a Toro and a Gigante, and it comes in boxes of 25 cigars. So that's nice. You don't see that a lot anymore.
Yeah.
And except this Gigante comes in a box of 20
Box of
because it's
20,
so
yeah.
big.
Little
And
too
the
big.
average price of the cigar is about $4.
That's a steal.
That's not bad. And
I mean, without giving away what we're going
Yeah.
to talk about, I mean, that for $4, that's a steal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and at this time that we're recording this, the box is about $99 for a box of 25.
That's stupid.
Now, if you're watching this in
It
2073,
probably is a lot higher.
price could be up a bit.
We're
Yeah,
guessing
they
taxes.
probably
might
will be
have
out of production by then,
And if you
we
wanna-
may not be around.
gone. Speak for yourself.
And if you want to get a 5-pack, that'll cost you $19.99 at Famous Smoke Shop, famous-smoke.com. So anyway, we're smoking it here. Are we enjoying it, Fred?
Very much, Gary.
do you got
Starting
for us?
off with me?
What do you got? Yeah.
Well, there's a lot to be said for
we
this
always
cigar.
start at the end and we work our way down.
We do. So there's a lot to be said for this cigar. Now, LGC has always been known as it's a cigar for people who prefer a richer smoke, a more full-bodied cigar, and I think that the Esteli keeps that in mind. It keeps that tradition going pretty well here. In a sense, it kind of reminded me a little bit of the Colección Reserva. That was a top pick from all of us here, and in a small sense, but this is a bit more of a beefed-up version, I would say. Very upfront on the cold draw. I got a lot of nuts. I got some salt, and I like this guy. He's kind of nuts. I know where your mind is.
Where's my mind?
You're
This
very
guy's got a
predictable.
lot You're always getting.
You're very predictable.
You're always getting nuts.
You're very predictable.
Nuts
got
on the
a lot
back
of-
of his
I am
palate. I know that.
I am.
I got a lot of nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.com.
That's there you go. All
right.
So
Enough of that.
he said that out loud.
Rest of that, I got earth, toast, leather. Then up front, I got very little pepper. I got almost all chocolate and oak. Very sweet, like a brown sugar sweetness. Very smooth, very creamy, and the aroma is just so strong and so smooth, so sweet smelling that it's just starting to fill up the whole room around us right now. Tell me, what are you getting?
Wasn't Earth, Toast, and Leather a band?
yeah,
it was.
tribute band.
A tribute band.
Yes. Cover band.
I looked up. I like to look up what other reviewers say about it to compare, so I don't end up so in left field. Everybody I looked up likes this cigar and likes it a lot. And you know what we were talking about for the price point, value-wise, holy crap, this is a hell of a cigar for the price. But it's a really, really good cigar, and all of us have been saying we liked it. I've probably smoked 4 of them already. And generally, I don't like cigars in the smaller sizes, but this one, of the 3 sizes, packs the most flavor. And, you know, I don't think it's super full-bodied. I think it's medium to full.
It's well-rounded.
I don't think it's full-bodied at all.
Medium
It's very
to
well-rounded.
full. But it really has a lot of flavor, and I think it's, you know, everybody's coming out with these Esteli cigars, but I think it's something different. And I think it's something definitely different that La Gloria has done. You know, there's so many of the La Glorias we've smoked over the years, and this one is just a different profile. Very, very smooth, and I'll get into the flavors in a little bit, but John, what'd you get?
Well, I wanted to back up to some of the construction because I had noticed on a couple of the samples, we've had these in-house for a little while now, an excellent consistent color on this Jalapa wrapper. And what's interesting is, as Gary was talking about Jalapa tobacco, it's up by the Honduran-Nicaraguan border. So for all intents and purposes, it's almost an all Honduran cigar.
It's very
Almost an
similar.
Honduran
You know,
floral,
even though
yeah.
it's called the La Gloria Estelí.
Because it's got to be the same soil.
It had this heavy clay,
similar.
Well,
rich
Yeah.
soil.
It's similar soil.
So it's known for making wrappers up there. It's very refined tobacco that's grown up there. But it's not a very heavy in your hand cigar, but for a Robusto, a very slow burner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially, I
that.
think, because of all the high priming tobaccos
Huge
we're
rips
talking
of smoke.
about. Lots of smoke, but underneath it all, it's got this awesome post-fermentation smell. I don't know if you noticed it on the pre-light.
thought
or
that
if
was
you
you.
noticed it. No, you should be so lucky. But I don't know if you got it, if you took a whiff, you know, if you take it, just give the wrapper a sniff. And I mean, it's got this super well-fermented, extra, you know, just real well done tobacco kind of flavor to it, and it hits your taste buds in the pre-light, and as soon as you cut it, nice clear open draw. This is rolled very well.
It's really hitting on all the high points for me right now. I like first of all, I like the amount of smoke. I always like a nice creamy smoke, but I'm getting mostly a toasty, woody kind of a character. I'm not getting any pepper or anything. I'm not getting that kind of sting you would get from, you know, maybe an Esteli wrapper. You know, it's just very smooth, and I love Honduran tobacco, and I'm kind of glad they did this. Also, let's give credit to, since this is in honor of the people who work in Esteli, it's actually the STG Esteli factory. So I want to say that.
Well, Gary, that's a good point, because for a cigar that has a Ligero wrapper and Ligero inside, this is not a peppery
I know.
powerhouse.
No.
So how did they go about doing that? I don't know. I'd love to talk to a blender or somebody how that could be, because, you know, first of all, how often do we see Ligero wrappers? I don't think a lot, do we?
No.
I mean, I was sitting there trying to think
They're
of
a
what
little
cigars, and my head had Ligero wrapper, and I couldn't come up with it. I'm sure there are, but you figure if that's on the outside and that's on the inside, this should be a just wicked pepper bomb, and it's not. It's very, very smooth.
But you see, the tobacco grown in Jalapa is not as strong as the tobacco grown in Esteli
That's
or
it.
Condega. It has that. It has the soil is very similar to, it's kind of loamy, and it's very similar to the
Loamy?
soil. Yeah,
Loam.
loamy
Omi.
and sandy, and it's very similar, they say, to the soil in Vuelta Abajo in Cuba. So I
very
think that's
sweet.
one of the reasons. Also, I guess you have to give them credit for the way they fermented it and aged it. I mean, you know, that's
Perfect.
really the secret. It's really how they ferment it and age it. So I'm really enjoying it a lot. It's burning really well. I see everybody's got really nice ashes there, and I did smoke one before this about a week ago, and I like that too. And it's very consistent. I'm getting this kind of toastiness, woodiness, a little sweetness, which you would get from some of the Hamastron tobacco, and I'm just really loving it. I really do. I could see smoking that, and for the price point, I could see smoking this a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
I could definitely get a few 5-packs of this.
Yeah.
Well, for the
sure.
price,
Yeah.
geez. I mean, this really, for the price, this could be an absolute everyday cigar that
Yeah.
you could really enjoy. I mean, Gary and I love the Gran Habano Corojo number 5 because of how tasty it is and the price point. And I think I put this almost in that category where I could smoke
Definitely.
this, absolutely smoke one of these every day. This
Yeah.
has a lot of flavor, but it's very, very smooth. And sometimes, right, we have to smoke cigars in the morning that basically grow hair on parts that we didn't have it. And it's kind of rough, but this is not that. And I think you could smoke this any time of day. What
This
do you
is a
think?
great morning cigar.
Fred?
I would say any time of day. I would probably prefer it after dinner because it has so much rich flavor to it. They would probably make a great after dinner cigar, but you could easily smoke this any time of the day. I could smoke this in the morning, no problem.
Let's talk flavors because I've heard some things that I've agreed with and I've heard some things that I disagree with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Fred, why don't you just broad overview? What do you got as far as some flavors go here?
Right now, what I got going is like a brown sugar sweetness, some leather, earth, a little bit of spice, a little oakiness, and like a mild bit of coffee going on, black coffee. That's majority of it. It's very creamy. It's very smooth. There's no pepper for me so far. And a lot of cigars start out with that front end, that front-loaded bit of pepper in the beginning to open up your palate, but there's very little pepper, just a mild, maybe like a red pepper kind of spice. And it's very smooth, very sweet so far.
Cedar is there huge, I think, especially if you let it sit in the back of the palate and kind of just taste it and then blow the smoke out. Big time cedar. But you know, when we talk about sweetness, Fred said like a brown sugar. Sometimes when we get that sweetness, it's what we associate with that sweetness. I'm associating it almost with a citrus kind of sweetness to it.
So it's more tart.
On the finish,
A little
right?
bit, yeah. But that's when I let it really linger on the palate. And if you guys ever do that, don't just take a puff and blow it out. And I'm not talking about retrohaling. I'm talking about just letting it sit on the back of the palate. It tastes great.
Okay, so a couple of things I agree with. Cedar Barnyard is one that I found that you guys didn't. Dark chocolate, hint of citrus. I think it does bring in some pepper, like a little dash of it, so that every time maybe you get about an inch in, you take a puff, put a dash of pepper on your tongue, in the middle of your tongue.
I think this is definitely going to be something for what some people call La Gloria guys. People from the 90s that stuck with La Gloria. They're going to love this. This is definitely in line with all the other cigars, but then it's also going to be great for, you know, younger smokers, newer smokers, people who enjoy a bit more of a well-rounded cigar. It's definitely going to be in their range, and the price range makes it very, very appealing. So if you're a newer smoker and you're going to see this for $5, $4, you should probably reach for this because this is going to be a treat.
I have smoked La Gloria way back in the 90s and stuff when I first started smoking in the mid maybe 90s. And I think this is different. Gary would go back then too. I don't think this is the traditional, like I said in the beginning, I don't think this is the traditional La Gloria. I think it's got that same hardiness to it, but it's a different flavor and it's very, very good and very smooth. I really do like this.
I think that's because they've used more of a Honduran blend. They used to use mostly Dominican Nicaraguan. I remember when Ernesto Carrillo was working there, he used Sumatra wrappers and Connecticut broadleaf from the mainline with the Dominican Nicaraguan blend, and now you're having this Honduran, and that's why I think I like it a lot, because I've always liked Honduran tobacco. I just like the taste of it.
But again, the fact that it's got a Ligero wrapper and Ligero inside, and it's not killer strong,
Right,
and it's
because I
not
think
killer
they
peppery.
probably fermented it to the point where all that
And that makes sense. That
is out
would
of
be
it,
why.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's really nice. It's nice and oily. I mean, it's beautiful. It's all even color. I mean, you know,
Oh yeah.
we're gushing over this cigar.
I was going to say, easy guys, you're
Yeah.
making the own hype. I would call this a more refined La Gloria to some of the points that these guys have made so far. Not as beefed up as maybe a Cigar Black or a Cigar Esteli and doesn't smack you around like a Cigar N would, perhaps.
Right.
But this would be take the original La Gloria, I think, to maybe something that Fred had said before, and amplify everything. Deeper flavor, more profound flavor, a little more intensity. It starts off medium, ends up somewhere in the medium to almost full category, but you can still smoke it for breakfast.
Yep.
A slow burning Robusto that I think if you were just to sum it up, you take a puff, it lands a little sweet, rolls out of your tongue and off your tongue and out of your mouth, lingers with a little bit of coffee, wood, that oak that I think we all tasted a sense of, but add that little dash of pepper. You take a puff, dash of pepper.
Yeah.
Take a puff, dash of pepper.
So there
Right-
is a
right in
nice
the middle of the
complexity to it, though.
Oh,
We didn't
absolutely.
really
It's-
say we
it's
didn't
not
say that.
wild. It's
No,
not
not
wild.
overly complex.
No.
But there's different flavors that go on
Oh, yeah.
throughout the cigar, even in the smaller size.
And I will say the larger sizes smoke a little bit sweeter than this one does. I don't know
That's
if you've
interesting.
But
noticed.
Well,
the
this
flavors-
is a 52 ring.
The
That's pretty
flavors are
big.
more intense in this smaller size.
Yeah.
It really is.
But I think
Because I've
the,
smoked all three sizes.
I like the dimensions. I like
Yeah.
4.5 by 52. You know, it's just about in that Robusto, dimension. But it's really nice, and the ash is very firm. I've just been kind of playing with the ash
Well,
here,
thank you, Gary.
and it's firm enough that you can kind of
Roll it without breaking it.
roll it and kind of get a nice little cone shape if you want. But
Gary's
I'm trying to
honing
tap it
his
off here,
cone.
and it's really nice. I'm telling you, it's exceeded my expectations. So that's what I have to say about it.
Fair assessment. Anything else we'd like to add?
No, it's a very good cigar. It really
Delicious.
is.
We have a very good, we
Quite
have a
delicious.
delicious, we have a more refined and gushing.
All right.
Well, I'll say one quick thing that a lot of times we say, sometimes one of us may not really like the cigar. It's not up their alley. So you'll hear us a lot of times say, "Hey, it's got this going on, and if you like that kind of cigar, you're gonna like this." So that's kind of the way we handle that. But none of us are saying that. We're all saying we like the flavors and the things that are going on. The construction's great too. That's it, Gary.
Okay, thank you guys. And remember, you can buy La Gloria Estelí cigars at famous-smoke.com. Don't forget to follow Cigar Advisor at cigaradvisor.com. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, and we're on Twitter. So, tell us about the live show every Wednesday.
Every
When?
Wednesday at 3 p.m. Well, sometimes every Wednesday, sometimes Thursdays, but 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Central, 12 noon specific time, and YouTube. We've got
That's right.
The Cigar Advisor YouTube channel has a lot of videos from us, not just panel reviews. Our 101 fan mail videos are a big hit with the people, Gary.
They are. They really are. So anyway, thanks again for watching, and happy smokes.